Hi guys, good morning. Uh, Welcome to Roll and Restore. We're going to start with the foot treatment today. Since we've closed, we've done a neck release. Last week's focus was on the upper body. Today we're hitting hips and low back. Again, we'll start with the foot treatment. Align your ears with the shoulders, shoulders over hips, hips over feet. Let's take a full breath, reach up. Exhale, lower it down. One more time. Bend your knees, reach and lower. Shoulder rolls up to the ears and down. Take your time with it. One more time. And then from here, both hands reaching for the floor. I want you to drop one ear to the shoulder. Take a breath. And then you'll bring it to center and switch. One more time each side, ear to the shoulder. And then slowly switch. Return your head to center. The head's reaching for the back wall. Your chin is level. I want you to close your eyes and take just a few breaths. Tune in. Allow your belly to expand, the rib cage to expand. Our shoulders stay relaxed. Try breathing in through the nose, maybe out through the mouth. Take a moment to notice how your feet feel on the floor. Remember, ideally, we're looking for our feet evenly rooted to the ground. Tiny little scoops where our arches lay. Take a moment to notice the thighs. Notice if you're locking your knees or if you're using all the muscles in your thighs and your bum right now to stand up tall. And if you're answering yes to yourself, go ahead and soften your knees, relax the muscles in your thighs. Just notice if that makes you feel a little unbalanced, or maybe you feel like you're swaying. Taking your awareness back to the feet, try to remember how they feel on the floor. We'll melt one foot and come back and reassess. Go ahead and open your eyes. I want you to take the ball to the right foot today. You're going to bring the ball right underneath the very center of your foot. Our feet are wide. I want you to place weight into the right foot and then weight into the left foot. We're gently rocking side to side. Remember, we never want to feel pain, tolerable pressure. Keep what you consider tolerable pressure on the right foot. Let's pause and take a full breath. Step back just slightly with your left foot. Decompress the ball by placing weight in the left foot. I want you to take the ball right behind the big foot knuckle. We'll come forward and compress. And this is a neck release. We're going to hold it here for just another breath. And then we transfer our weight into the left foot as you lift your right foot. We line the ball up with the outside edge of the foot. Remember, we have a small arch there. That's where I want your ball to go. We're going to place the ball underneath the arch of the foot and compress. Allow yourself a breath. Once again, the weight is in the left foot. Decompress the ball. I want you to take the ball right behind the big foot knuckle. Right in front of the heel. We come forward and compress. From here, I want you to keep your toes down and you're going to start your gliding motion. With consistent pressure on the ball, start to bring your foot forward to get the ball to the back of the heel. Once you're at the back of the heel, start to pull the foot towards the body so that you end up in front of the heel. Once you're in front of your heel, we pause. And I want you to take it into your shear, a tiny little wiggle. Pause and allow yourself a breath. Weight into the left foot, decompress the ball. I want you to squish the ball with the big foot knuckle. We come forward, compress the ball. One clean sweep, you're going to take your foot to the left. We lift our foot, reposition, squish the ball, and swipe to the left. Do this 2 more times. This is your rinse, and we're going over all 5 foot knuckles. So you're on the pads of the feet right now. And then from here, like a little kid scribbling on paper, light pressure, quick movements. Try to get the whole entire foot. And your left leg has a nice bend in it, so you're not stressing out the knee. And then from here, let's stand up tall. Align your ears over shoulders. And again, shoulders over hips, hips over feet. Close your eyes, allow yourself a couple of full breaths, and just notice the difference between the right foot and the left foot. I'm hoping your right foot feels a lot lighter on the floor, more evenly balanced. And if you take a moment to scan the right thigh, just notice if it feels seamless in comparison to a moment ago. We're gonna go ahead and open your eyes. Weight goes into the right foot. I want you to lift your foot and place that ball right underneath the left foot, very center of it. And we rock side to side. Remember, the purpose of the rocking is to find tolerable pressure. And then once you've decided what's tolerable today, keep the weight on the left foot. We take a full breath, and then we'll step back with our right foot. We decompress the ball by placing weight into your left, and I want you to take the ball right behind the big foot knuckle. We come forward and compress. Once again, weight into the right foot, decompress the ball. Find the outside edge of the foot, the little arch. We place our foot over the ball. There should be just a tiny bit of blue sticking out. And then from here, we're going to take the ball right in front of our heel. Again, come forward and compress. With consistent pressure on the ball, you'll start your gliding action. You're moving your foot right to left. Start to bring your foot forward to get the ball to the back of the heel. Once you get to the back of the heel, I want you to start to pull the foot towards the body so that we end up in front of the heel again. And once you're in front of the heel, we pause for just a moment and then go back into that shear, the tiny little wiggle. Pause and take a breath. Place the weight into the right foot, decompress your ball. Take the ball right underneath the big foot knuckle. We come forward and compress. And then we're gonna go over all 5 foot knuckles by going to the right with our foot. Lift your foot, reposition it, squish, and swipe right. It's like a broken windshield wiper. It only moves in one direction. Last one here. And then again, be the little kid scribbling on paper. Let's roll the right foot one more time. And then last time left. And from here, you can just place your ball on the side. And we're gonna go ahead and have a seat on our mat. And remember, if sitting down cross-legged is uncomfortable for you, you're at home, so you could sit in your chair. You can also extend your legs, whatever works for you. Seated tall, try to move your flesh out of the way, that way the sit bones are sitting nicely into the mat. We take both arms up, reach. Exhale, lower it down. Palms up to the ceiling as we lift. Palms to the floor as we lower. I want you to keep the right hand on the ground, the left arm, turn the palm up. We lengthen the arm, and I want you to side bend. Just go to a position that's comfortable for you. The left side of your bum is pressing down into the mat. And then we turn that palm, placing the hand on the ground. The right arm comes up. Side bend. We're going to repeat that one more time each side. Left arm up. See if you can go just a bit further. Our rib cage is kind of reaching for the hip. We're lengthening the left arm. The shoulders relax away from the ear. And give yourself a full breath, trying to expand the left side of your rib cage. Turn the palm, hand to the mat. Opposite arm over, and again, we're creating length in the arm. We side bend. See if you can go just a bit further, keeping your arm long and the shoulder relaxed. A full breath in, expand the rib cage as you breathe in. Turn the palm, hand to the mat. From here, we'll bring our hands to the shins. I want you to come forward a little bit and just create a little bit of movement with your upper body, as if you're making big circles. You can go as slow as you'd like or a little faster, whatever works for your body. Hopefully that feels good on your low back and the hips. And then simply give yourself a handful of circles in the opposite direction, keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. And then from here, we line it up center. I want you to slowly walk your hands forward. Let your head drop and give yourself a breath. Pay attention to which leg is in front. We're going to walk our hands away from the leg, opposite of the leg that's in front. So I have my left leg in front. I'm going to walk my hands to the right side. Try to keep the opposite side of your bum or that sit bone down into the mat. Take a full breath here and see if you can let your chest get a little closer to the thigh. We return our hands to center, walking the hands forward just a bit more. And then from here, let's tuck our chin and slowly round the back. Come up tall, rolling the shoulders once or twice. And then we'll lean back slightly so we can take the opposite leg in front. Again, we walk our hands forward. Allow your neck to relax. Pause for a breath. And then we slowly walk our hands to the direction opposite of the leg that's in front. So I have my right leg in front. I'm taking my hands to the left this time. Remember, try to take a fuller breath, and on the exhale, let yourself sink a little closer to the floor. And then we'll slowly return our hands to center, reaching out just a bit further, and we'll round our backs, tuck our chins, come up tall, roll your shoulders just a couple of times, dropping an ear to the shoulder. And then slowly switch. And then bring it to center. From here, we're going to uncross our legs, take our legs to one side, and I want you to lie down, have your foam roller ready. And once you're down, turn the palms up. Give yourself a couple of full breaths. And we'll take a moment to assess. Close your eyes. Using your body sense, notice your masses and spaces on the floor. Remember, masses are anything touching the ground, spaces anything lifted away. Think of the areas stuck stress loves to live, our shoulder girdle, our diaphragm, and our pelvis. And remember, when we hold stress in these areas, it leads to imbalances in our body. These balances left unaddressed lead to pain, sometimes chronic pain. So I want you to take a moment to notice the upper back. Ideally, our upper back is evenly weighted to the ground, with what women define as their bra line most heavy on the ground. Notice if that's what you're feeling today, or does it feel like you're propped up on one or both shoulder blades? Take a moment to notice the curve in your spine. When we're free from stress in our diaphragm, we have a nice little scoop right underneath the belly button, our low back curve. Just notice if that's what you're feeling today. Or does it feel more like a mid-back arch? And then finally, notice how your bum feels weighted to the ground, your thighs. When we have stress in our pelvis, oftentimes we feel more like we're sitting on our tailbone with one or both thighs lifted off the ground. Notice if that's what you're feeling today. And finally, divide yourself into a right and left half. Do you feel even in length today? Do both sides feel evenly weighted to the ground? Allow yourself a full breath in through the nose, expanding the belly and rib cage. Notice if there's any restriction in your breath. And then from here, I'll have you take each knee towards the chest, hands behind the thighs so you're not stressing out your knees. Our feet are just dangling. And I want you to gently rock side to side a couple of times with your hips. Maybe you prefer circles. And then we'll place our feet on the floor. I want you to grab hold of your foam roller and place it right behind the thighs. Our feet are in line with our hips. I want you to press your feet down into the floor and lift the hips off the mat. We're going to take our roller right underneath the back of our hips. And if you're not sure exactly where to put it, I want it underneath your sacrum. If you were to put your hands on the tops of your hips like a teenage girl with attitude, the foam roller should be underneath the top of your hips. Take each knee towards the chest, let your feet dangle. If you let your knees fall pretty close to the chest, that roller should stay put. If you felt it kind of push out, like you're about to lose it, place your feet on the ground and readjust. Once we're set, we're going to take a full breath, and on the exhale, press the rib cage down into the ground. Our knees, they're at a slight angle. So if we had flashlights on our knees, they wouldn't be pointing straight up to the ceiling, but more at an angle towards our head. We're going to take our knees to 11 o'clock, so an inch to the left, and I want you to create about 4 circles with your hips. I like to place my hands on my rib cage to make sure I'm keeping my upper body stable. From here, let's simply pause, take a breath, and then you're going to take the knees just an inch or 2 to the right, or you could think about 1 o'clock. Again, create a handful of circles. So this motion is creating fluid in our sacrum, and we always do this before we do anything else on the roller. Once again, pause, take a breath, and then we'll return our knees to center. I want you to take your left foot to the floor, take the right knee into the chest, hands behind the thigh, gently pull that knee in a little closer. Our left foot and that knee are in line with our hip. And I want you to gently press your foot down into the ground. Our pelvis is tucked, so our pubic bone is kind of coming towards our face. Our rib cage is heavy on the ground, and hopefully you feel some length or like a tug in that left side. We'll place our right foot down on the ground to meet the left. Left knee comes into the chest, hands behind the thigh with your shoulders relaxed. Go ahead and pull that knee into the chest. And again, gently press that right foot into the ground, hopefully feeling length in the right side. So obviously I can't see you, but I know when I teach class, I have to come around because a lot of us have a tendency to let our knee fall out to the right side of the room. Keep that knee in line with your hip. That part's important. And then once again, we're simply going to place our left foot to the ground. And from here, I want you to extend your right knee. Our foot comes off the floor. Our legs are level. Point through the toes for a moment. And then flex the foot. One more time. Point through the toes. Feel that nice stretch in the shin. And then you'll flex the foot, feeling the tug across the heel and behind the calf. From here, rib cage is still heavy on the ground, but I want you to bring your leg up just a little bit higher. You can decide how high you go, but what I'm looking for is length in the leg, not a bend in the knee. Length. And think about hip to heel press. You're pushing that heel high to the sky. Gently press the back of your hips into the ground. And give yourself just a couple of breaths. And then once again, we'll bend the knee, placing the right foot on the ground. Extend your left knee. You're reaching for the wall in front of you. Point through the toes. Feel that pull in the shin. Flex the foot. One more time. We're going to point through the toes. and then flex. Keep the flexion, and then slowly bring that leg up just to the point that you feel that pull in the back of the leg. We want to be careful not to lock our knees because then we miss out on the stretch in the connective tissue. Remember, this isn't a stretch for the hamstring, it's pulling or lengthening of the connective tissue. One more breath. Think about reaching that heel a little higher. And then again, we're going to bend the knee. Instead of placing the foot on the floor, let's pull that knee to the chest, hands behind the thigh. And I want you to slide the right leg out, keeping your heel on the ground. Just a reminder, our shoulders are relaxed, our rib cage is heavy on the ground, and you're creating length in the right leg. I'm hoping you feel a nice pull in the right hip flexor or the front of the right hip. And then we're going to change it from here. I want your left knee to continue to be pulled to the chest, but give me a super tuck of the pelvis. So the pubic bone is going to come towards the face. And when you do that, naturally that foot should have come up off the floor. You're going to take your right arm and reach straight up to the ceiling. Long arm. And kind of like a drawbridge, you're going to bring that arm down behind you. And then we turn our head to the left. I want you to think about creating length through the right side of the body. Your toes are reaching for the wall in front of you. Your fingertips are reaching for the wall behind you. And allow yourself a full breath. We bring our arm back to position. I want you to pull the right knee into the chest, hand behind the thigh. Your left leg will reach out, and I want you to begin by resting the heel on the ground. You can take your left hand behind the thigh as well. We're gently pulling our right knee in a little bit closer, feeling that nice pull in the left hip flexor. And then once again, with length in that left leg, all you're doing is taking the pubic bone towards the face. That foot should have come off the floor. Our left arm reaches straight up to the ceiling. Let me see starfish fingers. And then slowly, like a drawbridge, bring that arm behind you. Turn your head to the right. We're reaching to both ends of the room. And allow yourself a couple of breaths. From here, we'll return our arm, bend the left knee, place that foot on the ground. Take the right ankle, cross over your left thigh. So we're in a figure 4. Before we go any further, take your rib cage, let it sink into the ground. We take another breath. And on your exhale, pull your knees towards the chest. Try not to use your hands for a moment. Our right foot, we're going to flex it. Remember, that means your toes are going up to the ceiling. We're going to take our right hand and place it on the inner thigh. And I want you to think about pushing that right thigh not only away from you, but up. So we're pushing up and forward. Our left hand can either grab the heel of our foot, or you can go behind the thigh. I like to grab my heel. We have 2 actions going on here. We're pressing our right thigh away. Our left thigh is pushing towards our face, creating a nice figure 4. Be aware of your hips. Sometimes we have a tendency to shift our hips. I want both hips planted down into the roller. From here, give me a gentle tuck of the pelvis. And then I want you to gently press the tailbone towards the ground or the back of the hips down into the roller. And you're going to keep that position. Give yourself 2 or 3 really good breaths. Let's place our left foot to the ground. Uncross the legs. Make sure your roller is still in position. We take left ankle over right thigh. Take a full breath on your exhale. Let the rib cage sink into the ground. Keep it there. On your next exhale, you'll pull your knees towards the chest. Remember, left hand goes to inner thigh. You're going to press up and forward. Our right hand is going to grab the heel or behind the thigh, whatever works best for you. Our left foot is flexed. Again, go ahead and tuck your pelvis for a moment. And then on your next breath out, gently press the tailbone towards the ground. Or another way to think of it is pressing your hips down into the roller. It's not a lot of force, it's gentle. Allow yourself one more breath. And then we'll place our right foot on the floor, uncross the legs. Lift your hips, push the roller away. I want your back on the mat. We'll extend both legs right over the roller, so the back of our thighs are resting on the roller. Keeping your heels on the ground, or at least really close to the ground. I want you to just turn your knees and toes out slightly. You're pinning your flesh to the roller. Open your legs a few inches, and then you're going to kind of rotate the knees and toes in and drag them back together. One way to think about it, it's as if you're making a figure eight, a sideways figure eight with your legs. And then from here, you just bring your legs closer together, relax completely, and allow yourself a full breath. We're going to push our roller forward a couple of inches. Go to the belly of your hamstrings, the part of your thigh that kind of bulges out. And again, with our heels staying close to the ground, we slightly let the knees and toes drape out to the sides. And you're going to open your legs a few inches, rotate the knees and toes back in as you bring your legs closer together. So if you have hamstring issues, this might feel really good. And if it hurts, just back off the pressure. We bring our legs together and take another breath. From here, I want you to take a hand to the roller. Push the roller to the belly of your calves, the biggest part of the calves. I want you to take right ankle and cross the left shin. For some of us, if we have instability in our hips, this might be really tender and it's not the right position for you. If it is real tender, causing pain, uncross the legs and keep both calves at the roller. If you're okay with crossing, go ahead and keep it there. And we're going to do just a few knee bends. As you create your knee bends, explore the tissue a little bit. Lean to the left and then kind of lean into the inner part. We bring it back to center. I want you to just be aware if you felt any knots in there. We relax the knee bends, but I want you to take your calf or your leg side to side. That's where I feel a ton of speed bumps. So I want you to get next to a speed bump or a knot and then create some ankle movement with your left foot. You could do circles, you can point flex, it doesn't matter. And then we just pause and wait and take a full breath. Let's take the right leg on top of the roller, left crosses right. And again, we begin with knee bends. They're small. Try exploring the tissue by leaning to the outside edge. And then go to the inside edge. Just notice what you feel. And then we return to center, and you're going to take your leg left to right. Find a speed bump, get close to it, and then create your ankle movement. Remember, we don't want to get on top of the speed bump. That's human nature. You feel something, you're like, oh, let's just dig in. I don't want you to do that. I want you to get close to it. And then go ahead and relax. Take a full breath. We uncross our legs. I want you to take your feet to the floor. Take your knees to one side and come up to a seated position for a moment. We're going to take our roller in front of us, so we're side lying. If you have neck issues, you might want to take a pillow or a big bath towel, something to prop your head up. I'm gonna lie down on my side with my arm long. And then from here, lift your hips, position yourself so you're comfortable on your hip. We take our foam roller in front of our face. You're gonna push the top half of the roller away from you. So our roller's now at an angle. The bottom half is closer to our thigh. I want you to take your top leg and place it on top of the roller just above your kneecap. Our top hand is going to be on the floor. I'm not going to call out a direction because you may be lying opposite of me. But with our foot relaxed on the ground, you simply let your belly fall to the floor a bit, and then you're going to use your hand to push yourself back to side lying. A lot of us feel tenderness here. Just be careful with how much pressure you put on there. Our adductors sometimes, or our inner thigh muscles, play havoc with our pelvis and our knees. And this is just creating some fluid in there. So I want you to go to your side lying position. We're simply going to bend our knee and extend the knee. So you're bringing your your foot towards your thigh, bend, and then just lengthen the leg. Bend your knee, keep the knee bent. I want you to rotate that foot towards the ceiling a bit and then lower it back down. We'll do that 3 more times. Remember, if you're feeling pain at all, just relax and wait. From here, you're going to extend your leg, take a full breath, and on the exhale, let your thigh get heavy on the roller. Push your big toe down into the ground just so that you can lift your thigh enough to pull the roller closer to mid-thigh. So we're at mid-inner thigh. Top hand to the ground. Let your belly fall to the floor a bit. Use your hand to bring yourself back to side lying. So you can see my foot's just dragging across the floor. My hip is completely relaxed. I don't want my hip doing the work. One more time. And then once again, we're side lying. Our thigh is heavy on the roller, and you're just going to bend your knee and extend the knee. Hold your knee bend, rotate the foot to the ceiling, and then lower it back down. We'll do this a couple more times. And then from here again, we're just going to extend the leg, take a full breath, let your thigh get heavy on the roller. I'm going to have you lift your leg, continue to side lie for a moment. We have options. You can bend your knee and simply pull that hip back to feel the stretch in the front of your hip. Or you can take your hand, bend the knee, and reach for your shin, ideally. If you have trouble reaching for your shin, then just go for the front of your foot, pant leg or sock. I want you to bring your knee closer to the floor and then pull that leg back. So if it's up here in the air, you're not getting the stretch that's needed. I want you to think about keeping the knee closer to the floor so that you're getting the quadricep stretch or the front of your thigh stretch. One more breath. Without snapping the knee, go ahead and relax the stretch. I'm going to have you push your roller forward a bit. We'll use this top hand to allow ourselves to come up. And I want you to stay in this position for just a moment. You're going to take your foot against the thigh. So if you're facing me, we're going to grab hold of our ankle. The left arm's reaching up and your side bending, hopefully feeling a nice stretch through the side of the body. We'll place that hand on the ground, and I want you to take your right arm and reach. The hip goes up and forward. Lower your bum to the mat, grab hold of your ankle, and again, arm comes over, side bend. Hand to the mat, take a breath. We lift, push up and forward. And we'll do that one more time. The arm comes over. Hand to the mat. Now lift your hips high. Push them up and forward. Hopefully you're feeling that stretch. Run from your elbow, maybe all the way to the knee. We're going to keep our legs where they're at, and we're going to go into a modified pigeon. You can use your roller. So our legs are still in position, and we just walk our roller away. Let yourself come all the way forward. Ears will line up with the arms. Give yourself a full breath. Now tuck your chin, round the back, pull the roller closer to the body. You're going to pick up your roller and take it to the side. I want you to see if you can get your right hand to press down into the roller and then elongate the spine. For me, this one always feels really good on my rib cage. We take a full breath here. Some of us, this is where we're going to stay and we won't go any further. Others are going to walk the roller away a bit and start to come towards the floor. Go to the position that's best for you. Don't force it. Give yourself another breath. And then we'll gently press into the roller and pull ourselves back to position. From here, we're going to take both heels to the floor. And I want your hands behind you. Your fingers are going to face your hips. That way you're protected on your wrist. Bend your elbows, raise your toes, and I want you to give me windshield wipers. So right now, my feet are in line with my hips. What's more comfortable for my body is to make the feet wider. And then I get the stretch on the side of my leg. Do what's best for you. Allow yourself one more each direction. And then I want you to just take both knees to the left and give yourself a couple of breaths. We've done this many times lying down. We're just doing the same thing upright. You might feel it differently. Go ahead and switch. Pause for a breath or two. Think about taking this left knee a little closer to the ground. And then to center. We'll pick up our roller, take it to the other side. You're side lying, and we have our roller positioned right in front of us. Again, lift your hips and adjust your hips so that you're comfortable. We take the top half of our roller away from the body. The bottom half is aimed towards our thighs. Remember, it's important that this is at an angle. And then we just take our top leg on top of the roller, and we're just above our kneecap. Our foot is resting on the floor, and our hip is completely relaxed. Let your belly fall towards the floor. Use your hand to push yourself up to side lying. And give yourself a handful of these. Take your time with it. Try not to rush. We're at our side lying position. We're going to bend our knee and extend the knee. So we're just above our kneecap on the inner thigh. Let's bend the knee, keep the knee bent, and rotate that foot towards the ceiling, and then bring it back down. And remember, sometimes we do have a lot of stress in our hips, and maybe your movement is only an inch, and that's okay. And then from here, we relax the foot down, extend the leg, take a full breath, and on the exhale, let your thigh get heavy on the roller. Big toe presses down into the floor just so that we can lift our thigh enough to bring this to the middle inner thigh. And then once again, let your belly fall towards the floor and pull yourself back up to side lying. Couple more. You're going to bring yourself to side lying, and once again, we bend our knee and extend the knee. Give me two more. Hold the knee bend, rotate your foot towards the ceiling, and then back down. We externally rotate. Actually, that was internally rotate, sorry. And then relax it down. Extend the leg, take a full breath. Let your thighs sink into the roller. And then once again, we'll use this hand to press ourselves up. We push our roller out of our way and then come up to that position, mermaid position. Our right foot will be against our thigh. Our feet are flexed. We grab hold of the ankle. The arm comes up and over. And then we place that hand on the mat. Lift your hips up and forward. You're reaching with your arm. We place our bums down. Think about maybe breathing in. Exhale as you lower. And if you don't like that breathing pattern, just breathe. Be careful not to hold your breath. Last one here. We bring this up. Reach, reach, reach. And then we'll place our bums on the mat. And then once again, our feet stay where they're at. We try to keep our sit bones pretty close to the ground. Hands on the roller. Square up your body and start to walk your roller away. Remember, let your belly get close to the floor or as close as you can. Our neck stays long. Ideally, our ears end up between the arms. And then we'll gently press into the roller, pull ourselves upright, pick up your roller and take it to the opposite side. See if you can press that left hand into the roller and grow taller. And again, some of us are going to stay right here, and that's okay. And if you want to try it, start to roll the roller away. I like to walk it away until I can get to a certain point. And once you get to the position that's best for you, you're going to give yourself a couple of good breaths. We press into the roller and start to pull ourselves up. And then from here, I'm going to have you take that left leg and cross the right. Let's just roll our shoulders a couple of times. A full breath. And once you bring your hands to the ground, I want you to walk your hands away. We're reaching, sit up as tall as you can, and drop the right ear to the shoulder. Give yourself a full breath in and out. And then slowly switch sides. And I just realized I forgot to stretch your quad. Slacken. Bring it to center. So we're going to lie down on our right side one more time. Sorry about that. We're side lying. We bend that top leg. Remember, you can absolutely just bend the knee and press back. If you can, grab hold of your shin. If the shin is an issue, grab the front of your foot, pant leg your sock. Once you get a good grip, you're going to bring that knee closer to the ground. Press the hips forward. Take another breath. And then without snapping the knee, relax the stretch. Bring yourself up. We're going to turn our roller vertical and have a seat on the very edge. Go ahead and walk yourself down. Adjust yourself so that your spine is glued to the roller. Arms are at the sides. We're going to walk our hands away a bit more. And then we always begin with gentle rocking. Remember, the purpose of gentle rocking is to help the spine and nervous system to get acclimated to the pressure of the roller. And then we bring ourselves to center. I want you to make sure your feet and knees are in line with your hips. Give yourself a full breath. And as you exhale, let yourself settle on the roller. On your next breath out, we tuck the pelvis. Remember, that just means the pubic bone is coming towards the face, and you'll feel the small of the back touch the roller. Now relax the pelvis and you'll feel the low back scoop away. Let's do that 3 more times. On your breath out, you tuck. And then when you're ready to breathe in, you let it relax or tilt. 2 to go. And then from here, we go into our 3D breath. I like to place one hand on my belly so I'm sure the belly is rising. As we inhale, expand the belly and back. Rib cage expands to the sides of the room. We're trying to create length in the torso. And on the exhale, try to breathe through your mouth and think about the rib cage getting smaller. The torso gets shorter. The belly gets smaller or lower. Give yourself 3 or 4 breaths like that, but I want to hear you. You're going to make an SH sound, or maybe it's an SI sound, whatever works for you. We breathe in through the nose. Continue breathing like that. Just a reminder, when we take full breaths into the diaphragm, it helps relax the nervous system. It reduces your blood pressure. It also provides nutrients to our blood. It's important that you're getting those full breaths. It does not have to be a deep breath. And think about keeping your shoulders relaxed. Your chest is the last to rise. Take it back to your natural breathing. We take both arms and reach up to the ceiling. I want starfish hands, palms are facing each other. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling and then lower them down. Let's line the hands up at the rib cage so we have a slight angle on the shoulders. Each time your shoulder blades come down onto the roller, see if you can let them get a little heavier, creating more space between the spine and shoulder blades. Our neck stays relaxed, the head stays on the roller. Now let your shoulder blades get heavy on the roller. I want you to take your right arm and reach for the back wall, but avoid going past your cheekbone. The left arm is going to reach for the wall in front of us, but we avoid going past mid-thigh. And then from here, you just switch directions. Maybe think about breathing in with one arm and breathing out with the other. Single arm reach. And then we take both arms, line them up with our rib cage, lift the shoulder blades away from the roller, and then let them get heavy on the roller. Hold them there. We're going to open our arms, not to a T position, but more maybe like a W. You have a slight bend in the elbows, and then you're just going to create a little bit of length. I want just the wrist to move. So we're going to make 2 gentle fists, and I want you to take both fists to the right side of the room. And then you'll take both fists to the left side of the room. Again, the arms are not moving. Your arms are long, elbows soft. And I'm hoping you feel a nice tug in the forearms as you change wrist positions. Keep this wrist action going, but create length in the fingers. For me, I always feel that in the like the thumb pad of my hands and the forearms, as well as the biceps. There's this nice tug going across the body. Last one here. Open up the hands, return the hands to the ceiling, lift the shoulder blades just once, lower the shoulder blades down to the ground, turn the palms to the mat, reaching for the corners of the room, and then relax. I want you to turn your head an inch to the right side of the room. Left hand stays on the ground, but see if you can get more length in the arm. Hopefully feeling a nice tug through the left side. Return your head to center. And then we'll slowly turn our head to the left an inch or two. Right arm. Walk it away a bit further, feeling that pull through the right side. It's normal to feel each side a little differently. And then again, we return our head to center. Take a full breath. Kick out the right leg like a kickstand. Fall off the right side of your roller. Use your left hand to push your roller away. And I just want you to lie down in your anatomical position the way we started once we got on the floor. Remember the 3 areas stress loves to live: the shoulder girdle, the diaphragm, and the pelvis. Let's assess those areas. Did you make any changes today? Does your upper back feel more evenly weighted to the ground, less shoulder blade? Take a moment to notice the curve in your spine. Are you feeling more of a low back scoop and less of that mid back arch? Did you make any changes in your pelvis? Are you feeling more of your bum on the mat, more of the thighs weighted to the ground, less tailbone? And then finally, divide yourself into that right and left half. Are you feeling more evenly weighted to the ground? Are you feeling more even in length? If you're not sure what you feel, that's okay too. I want you to give yourself another full breath. We're going to pull the right knee into our chest and then slowly pull the left knee into the chest. I want you to open your legs wide. You can even rest your elbows to the mat. Your feet are just dangling. For some of us, this is a perfect stretch right here. For other of us, we want to go into more like a happy baby. You'll bring those feet close to the ceiling and grab hold of the feet. Some of us like to grab the big toes. You can grab the arches of the feet, whatever works. If you ever watched an infant, they rock and roll with this position. They grab feet, calves. Try to relax your shoulders. Make sure you can breathe comfortably. And I want you to try to bring the pads of your feet together, creating a diamond with the legs. And then you're going to gently pull those feet closer to the floor and pull them towards the chest a little bit more. As you do that, see if you can press your knees away from the body. And think about pressing your tailbone towards the ground just a bit to create more of a neutral spine. I'm hoping that feels good on the muscles between the shoulders and the neck, the traps. I hope it feels good in your inner thighs. It always feels really good in my low back too. Allow yourself one more breath. We'll soften our knees, take your hands towards your knees and create a handful of circles with the hips. Reverse your circles. And I'm going to have you take your right foot to the floor, keep the leg bent. We'll extend the left leg, hands go behind the thigh. See if you can create a little bit more length in the leg. We're going to point through the toes and then flex the foot. And I want you to hold the flexion. From here, the only change I want you to make is most of us, when we're in this position, we kind of tuck our pelvis up. I want you to gently press the back of your hips into the ground. If you're not sure what I mean, maybe think about pressing your tailbone towards the ground. You've created more of a neutral spine. And for most of us, we really feel a nice tug running from our sit bone up to the heel. If you have trouble with this one, you could use a yoga strap, a hand towel, something. Go ahead and bend the knee. Place the foot on the floor. Just move that hip right to left a few times. And then we'll extend the right leg up, or I'm sorry, the left leg up. Hands behind your thigh. Point through the toes. And then once again, let's flex that foot. We'll hold the flexion. See if we can get more length in that leg. Remember, you're kind of pressing the heel towards the sky without locking your knee. And then again, press the back of your hips down into the ground, creating more of the neutral spine. You'll feel your nice little lumbar curve in your back. Allow yourself one more breath. And then we'll just bend our knee, place the foot on the ground, and just rock side to side with the hips and windshield wipers we like to do. And we'll finish up today with taking your feet on the edges of your mat, or if you don't have a mat, just make your legs wider. Our toes come up, and we're going to take both knees to the left side of the room. Your right leg will not move. I want you to pick up your left foot and cross that ankle over your right thigh. Give yourself a couple of breaths so our shoulders are down on the mat. Hopefully you feel a nice tug through the right hip. If it causes pain, don't do it. You'll slide that ankle off, keeping the feet wide, gently rock side to side a couple of times, just letting the spine and the hips adjust. And then allow the knees to fall to the right. Remember, our legs are still wide. Your left leg will not move. We take right ankle over left thigh. And again, just let gravity do its thing. With each breath, the thighs get closer to the ground. We're keeping both shoulders on the ground. Think about gluing your shoulder blades to the mat. And then once again, let's just let that ankle slide up. Rock your hips side to side. And then I want you to extend the left leg, extend your right leg. Maybe point to the toes. Arms go overhead, and I want you to reach to both ends of the room as though I'm pulling on the arms and legs. Create as much length in the body as you can. Allow yourself one more breath. And then from here, I want you to take a moment. Give yourself permission to quiet your mind and take a few breaths for a couple of minutes for just you. If your arms in this position are not comfortable, then definitely take your arms to the sides, wherever it is comfortable. Be intentional about this couple of minutes. Notice your face. Are you still holding your frown lines? If so, try to relax them. Notice your jaw. Are you clenching? Maybe separate the mouth a little bit, your lips a little bit. Feel the shoulders and the upper back get real heavy on the ground. Knees and toes start to drop to the sides. You might feel your fingers start to bend a bit. Simply be. Allow a really good breath. take a wiggle in your fingers and toes. Slide each leg into a bent position. And I'll have you take your knees to the right side of the room. Rest your head on the bottom arm. Give yourself a few breaths. And then we'll use that hand to bring ourselves up to a seated position. Crossing the legs in front of you. Lengthening the spine. Let's take both arms up. Our hands meet. We bring our hands heart center. Bring it all the way up. Reach. Let's separate the hands. Turn the palms down. One more time. Palms come up. We bring our palms together. And then I thank everybody for joining me today. Remember, it's important that you give me your feedback. If there's something that you don't like, share it. If I'm not cueing properly or you can't hear me very well, I need to know that. I can't change it if you don't tell me. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next week.